We got to decide. I am no longer subscribing to the negative thoughts my brain likes to tell me. And don't be mad at yourself. Be nice to yourself. We don't need to believe the lies that our brain are telling us. The brain is telling you everything is unsafe. That's not true anymore. We can create safety in our body on our own, here and now. Hey, I'm Brooke Jean, therapist, recovering perfectionist, and struggling working mom on a mission to normalize normal. If you're an overwhelmed, high-achieving, and secretly anxious mama, struggling to balance it all and on the brink of burnout, you are in the right place. Here is where we talk about hard things like balancing work and family life, mental health, and how to navigate life-altering transitions. Nothing is too taboo here. In my conversations, I'll teach you how to let go of who you think you're supposed to be in order to create the life you've always wanted. Get ready to embrace your messy, shed the shoulds, and find freedom through a life unperfected. This is the Unperfected Pod. Hey girl, welcome back to the Unperfected Pod, where we normalize normal and find freedom in a life unperfected. I am so happy and grateful you are here. Before we get into today's juicy episode, I want to let you know that the doors are currently open for my new signature program, Unstuck and Unstoppable, Overcoming Perfectionism and Embracing Your True Worth, my loves. Hopefully you guys had an opportunity to download and watch the most recent free masterclass, Perfectionism Detox. If you haven't, links to that below. But you will get a little flavor from that free experience with me, what my programs are all about. So I have created this program for the woman who has big goals, dreams, and desires, but feels stuck, feels frozen in her nervous system, feels dissociated from her body, feels like she's not where she's supposed to be or meant to be, feels disconnected from her intuition, from her gifts, from her connection to others. And she is just feeling maybe resentful about the whole thing. This program is where I personally guide you through becoming uncaged in your mind, unstuck in your body, and into aligned action to start creating a more balanced and fulfilled life. Here's some of the topics that you're going to get coaching on in this program. Number one, you're going to identify what's holding you back from stepping into your most potent and powerful potential. Number two, you are going to start to do parts work with me, right? So we are complex beings made up of lots of different parts. We have our inner children, we have our inner teenagers, we have our protective parts, which perfectionism and anxiety and control fit into a protective part. And then we have your CEO self, which is your highest self. I coach you to, number one, reconnect to your highest self. Step into the identity of your CEO, the woman you're becoming, who is unshakable in her self-worth, who knows who she is, what she wants, and she has the courage to step forward and get where she wants to go. I help you heal and integrate your inner child, which also helps you come home to yourself. When you figure out who you really are, you want to go back to some of the things that you used to do when you were little. I also teach you how to heal and integrate all your protective parts, whether that's perfectionism, anxiety, control, whatever it is. So we dive really deep in this program to get unstuck and unstoppable. I give you my tried and true therapeutic techniques to manage your mind so it's not managing you. I give you all my somatic techniques to help you regulate your nervous system, process your emotions in a healthy way, and reconnect to the secrets that your body holds. I teach you how to actually learn resilience and learn self-compassion. I guide you through time training so that you can create the time on your calendar to take care of yourself and step into this new identity of the woman you're becoming. I help you write your personalized self-care routine. I help you get really clear on what you want and what you don't. I teach boundaries in this program. How do you say no? How do you ask for help? And how do you build a supportive community around you? Anyways, there is so much gold in this program, and here's how it works. Each week, you'll get a pre-recorded module that has videos and handouts and homework from me. And To make this program truly get you to move in the direction that you want to go in your life, I have added not 1, not 2, not 5, not 10, but 12 live coaching calls where I personally will coach you, where I personally will help you get unstuck, where I will answer your questions, where we will be together as a group of women doing the damn thing. So that means that some weeks you will be with me 1, 2, or 3 times to actually make sure you're getting the momentum that you so desire. This program is something I'm so freaking proud of. I have been there. I have been stuck. I have been living a life that did not bring me joy or fulfillment. And I can honestly say, if you follow along on social media, on my Instagram, at Brooke Jean Unperfected, you can see that while I'm not perfect, I don't need to be. I live an extraordinary life that I absolutely freaking love. And I want the same for you, which is why I designed this program. We start October 11th. And I think this is going to come out maybe the Monday right after. So I will extend and leave the doors open for 1 more week. So if you've been on the fence and after listening to today's podcast, you're like, I am ready to be in Brooke's world. I'm ready to be in that energetic space, to be inspired, to remember who the F I am and what I want in this one wild and precious life. It's not too late. Get your fanny in the program. The links are in the show notes. Let's effing go. I love you so much. Okay, now that we've gotten through that, let's get into our regularly scheduled program. That's hard to say on a Monday morning. All right, so first of all, personal life update. I am just coming off of my anniversary weekend. You guys, 12 years married, 20 years together with my partner, my husband, Tony. And I'll be really vulnerable with you. The thing that I struggle with probably more than anything else, now that I've done all the healing work, is my attachment style, is me opening up my heart, letting people in, relying on my partner, trusting someone else to take care of me. You know, I have lived in my masculine and I have been super hyper independent as a trauma response for most of my life. And when my husband met me, I was a single mom. Camden wasn't even 1 year old yet. And I was in a full-blown survival strategy. I was starting my corporate career. I was still heartbroken over by my baby daddy. I was already drinking too much. I was already like suppressing all my emotions, but I was going to do whatever it frickin' took to raise my baby right and to provide a financial future for Camden. And so Tony just like gracefully came into our world. It was really kismet how we met. He randomly transferred from Wisconsin to Longmont, Colorado. And my first assignment with Target was HR in Longmont, Colorado. I didn't even know Longmont, Colorado existed. And it's a random place. Honestly, if you're moving to Colorado, Longmont is like a random place. And no hate on Longmont, but it's really kismet how we met. And that was literally 20 years ago. And we've had our ups and downs. This man has held it down. He is the ocean floor while I am the wild waves. He is a hardworking Midwest simple man. He's been with Target for 30 years. He's so steady. He's so reliable. He's so like, he's a good effing person to his core. And me, I'm wild. I am wild. And so we make actually a really beautiful pair because I think I bring the extraordinary to him and he grounds me and brings me back down to earth. But we need both in order to create this life that we have. And so we have gone through different phases and stages. But this last year has been really about us healing and rebuilding in our relationship and like meeting each other with where we are each at now. Like the woman that I am today is so different than the woman I was 10 years ago and the woman I was 20 years ago. And how do you continue to grow together even though you're different? And so we've been really setting an intention around having these juicy conversations around who are we now and what hurts and resentments do we carry from the 20 years that we've been together, and how do we grow in our connection and our intimacy at this stage and phase. And so this last weekend for our anniversary, we just did a staycation. My daughter went to my parents' house and we just hung out. And when I tell you, it was so good, you guys. Like just talking and laughing and being silly and stupid. And we were sober. We didn't drink. So, like, the intimacy was real and deep. And we got to go out to dinner Friday night and Saturday night. I think my favorite part of the whole damn anniversary was Saturday. We woke up and we went up to Evergreen Lake to walk around the lake and to get some nature and to see some leaves changing. And then we came home. And y'all, we went into the basement and we watched 2 hours of the new season of Survivor. And I cannot tell you what a privilege it felt like to watch TV with my husband during the day. We never get to watch TV together. We never get to have an uninterrupted conversation. We never get to have sex. Like, it's so hard. Our daughter loves to be the center of attention, bless her heart. So we got to just hang out and lounge and talk shit and laugh and snuggle and be silly. And that literally was like exactly what our souls needed. It was the filling of our connected tank. And then we went out to dinner and like he washed the sheets in our bed and flipped our mattress and like did all these things. I don't know. It was beautiful. And I'm just today feeling really connected to him and so proud of us as a couple and the fact that we're doing the work. And I just really look forward to who we get to be in this next phase of our relationship and what's in store for us as we continue to grow united as a couple, embracing our imperfections, but standing strong for what we want out of this life and continuing to renegotiate the deal. Let's keep it real. What I want is different than what my husband wants. And so we continuously renegotiate. And I think that's a beautiful thing. You know, a lot of teachers will preach like you and your partner have to want the same things. And I don't know that I totally agree with that. Now, you can't be on the like polar opposite, although Tony and I actually are on the opposite ends of the spectrum around a lot of things. But I think some of the like core things, like being a good person, raising our children the way that we raise our children, being responsible in the way that we're responsible, those things are the same. Everything else is different. Like, he is so content and happy with the way things are. I always want more. I have a big passion and purpose in my work. He doesn't need that. I want to travel and see the world. He's happy being here. I want to go out and be social. He loves to stay home. I love to dream big. He loves to logic hard. We're very different, but we continue to bring out the best and the worst in each other and then renegotiate the deal. And I think that's what long-term partnership is freaking about. We can want different things, but find a common ground, and we can fill the gaps in what each other is lacking. So I remind him to dream big, and he remembers me the importance of the everyday beauty and in the mundane, the beauty in the mundane. And I actually think that's really magnificent. Like, if both of us were big dreamers like me, God, who knows? Maybe we'd like go hard and then go bankrupt and go hard and then go, I don't know. And if we were both really steady Eddie and not wanting much more, I don't think that we would have been exposed to some of the beautiful things that my dreaming big brings to our relationship. And I think our kids get like a beautiful teaching between the two of us. Like, what my husband teaches by just being him is hard work and integrity and trust and loyalty and showing up and being there and being consistent and being grateful for what you have and being level-headed. And then what I bring to them is like, shoot for the fucking stars, follow your bliss, live your dreams. Like, how good does it get to feel? Believe in yourself, make an impact. Our kids get to see both. And then they get to see the two of us wrestling around, figuring out how to do it together. So anyways, I'm just wanting to share with you guys something that I've been personally working on this year is opening up my heart and healing some of these elements in my relationship. And we're making progress. It's slow. God dang, anytime you're trying to do something with a man, why is it the slowest motion of all slows? But I'm learning to be okay with that because it's worth it. It's worth it. Do I want us to be more intimate? Do I want it to be more passionate? Do I want it to be, more romantic? Do I want to be more deeply connected? Do I want him to always look deep into my eyes and know exactly how I'm thinking and feeling? Do I want him to really understand me and the work that I do? Yes. And what's also true is that rebuild and the who we're becoming is a slow burn, and it is a steady process, and it's a brick laid on top of a brick, laid on top of a brick. And so I've had to ditch my desire for it to move quickly in order to be where we are now, which I also think is a really good mirror for me and assignment for me. So I don't know, maybe you see some of yourself in my share with your partner. Being in long-term relationships is effing hard. It's also some of the most beautiful and profound work that we're ever going to do. Relationships are mirrors for the parts of us that we're ready to grow into. The relationship isn't going to heal you. It's going to show you the parts you need to heal. And I feel lucky that I've chosen a partner that I can be in my mess and I can heal myself over and over and over again. And he gets to witness my becoming. And I get to witness his. And how lucky are we that we're still doing the damn thing 20 years later and that we can still belly laugh. Like we've laughed our asses off this weekend and just over the silliest things. But it's like sometimes you need those moments to like really be in the presence with each other, not in your routines, not in your responsibilities. And remember, like, oh yeah, my soul chose your soul. Oh yeah, we love each other. We actually like each other. There's still an attraction there. Let's protect that. Let's feed that. Let's fuel that. Let's build on that. And anyways, that's where I'm at. So let's roll into today's topic, which is to stop believing your frickin' thoughts. Stop believing your thoughts. So many of you are struggling with this right now. So many of you have a busy monkey mind that is giving you thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of thoughts a day that are having you anxious. You're pre-planning the future. You're future tripping. You're worst case scenarioing everything in your life, everything in your day. And your brain is telling you nothing but lies. Okay, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Old research indicates that we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. I think it's more. I think we have it well over 100,000 thoughts a day, especially after COVID. We're more anxious after the pandemic. But I think that we're having 100,000 thoughts a day. And 80% or more are fear-based lies. 80% or more are fear-based lies. And 80% of those fear-based lies are the same fear-based lies you had yesterday. So we as a species, as an animal, as human beings are walking around with all of these thoughts that are fear-based, that are not truthful, and all of these negative thoughts. I call this stinking thinking. These negative thoughts that we've had over and over and over again have become automatic thought loops that have become baked into our biology. They've become neural pathways, which are automatic. Your brain's only job is to keep you safe and to do it utilizing as least amount of energy as possible. So when you're looking at a situation, you are going to default to your neural pathways. And if your neural pathways are negative thought loops, because it's the negative thoughts you've been thinking your entire life, you can imagine the torture that we're in, the cage that we're in our own minds. So I want you to take a moment right now just to pause and to take a breath and to, from a non-judgmental place, examine what is the quality of your thoughts. Do you experience a monkey mind, a worried mind, an anxious mind? How many thoughts a day do you have that are negative or critical or are future tripping? They're having you prepare for something negative that hasn't even happened. I want you to observe that. I want you to gain awareness around the quality of your thoughts, because we cannot change what we're unaware of. So if you're like me or you're like the next one, we have a lot of stinking thinking going on. But we've got to know that we are bigger than our thoughts. We don't even have real research that shows where our thoughts come from. I think it's the beliefs that we have about the world, right? Your beliefs are when you were in utero to 7 years old, you were observing all of the messages from your parents, your caregivers, teachers, coaches, from your media and advertisement. You were just absorbing information about yourself, what it means to be a boy, a girl, a mother, popular, socially acceptable, what's enough, what's too much, what's not enough, what's smart, what's successful. You absorbed all of this information, and then you had lived experiences, often in the form of traumas, that imprinted on you. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, girls don't like me. Oh, boys aren't safe. Oh, the world isn't safe. Oh, I need to be the best in order to be loved. Oh, when I'm perfect, my parents will acknowledge me. Oh, when I people please, there's less anxiety in my home. Oh, when I neutralize, my mom and dad don't fight. So we have these traumatic experiences that then imprint on our belief system and on our nervous system. And all of those subconscious beliefs and those imprints in our body bubble up to become thoughts. That's my theory. And so then these thoughts are basically the way in which we're perceiving the world. Am I good enough? Am I not? The comparison game, the assessing yourself, the assessing others, the judgment of yourself, the judgment of others, the worrying, the planning, the plotting, the scheming, all of those thoughts, your perception of the world, you've engaged in that for so many years and decades that it's become neural pathways, automatic, default. But you've got to know that you, your CEO self, your highest self, your soul, your spirit, she is bigger than your thoughts. And so here's where I want to remind you to stop believing your thoughts and to start becoming an observer of them, and to know that you get to choose which thoughts you want to believe and respond to. I'm going to say that again. You get to choose which thoughts you want to believe and respond to. So the thought comes in, I'm fat. I'm not believing that. The thought comes in, I'm not smart enough. I'm not believing that. The thought comes in, oh, my partner just didn't give me the longest kiss this morning. It must mean he's not in love with me anymore. I'm not believing that. My husband didn't text me all day. He must not be interested in me. I'm not believing that. My child's teacher just gave me a weird vibe. They must not like my child. I'm not believing that. I had a weird tone in the email from my boss. They must be disappointed in me. I'm not believing that. I want you to start challenging every God-blessed thought that comes through your head, because I promise you 90% or more are not truthful, and they are certainly not helpful. Not helpful. Okay? Your higher self, I call it the CEO self. I break this down deeply in my Unstuck and Unstoppable programs, or when you work with me one-to-one. Your highest self, the version of you that is your soul, that is your spirit, that is your energy. She is the version of you that knows she was born inherently whole and worthy and deserving. She trusts herself and she trusts others. She knows her gifts and she embodies them. She chooses to feel good. She chooses her frequency every day, and she does what she can to stay in that frequency. And when she falls off that frequency, she non-judgmentally and loves and lovingly gets herself back in. But she's the queen. She is the CEO of your table of life. She sits at the head of the table of all of your parts, your inner children, your inner adolescent, your protective parts, all of them. And she decides how we respond to things. She makes the decisions. She takes the aligned action. The CEO is queen. The CEO is the version of you that you're becoming, fully embodied in your highest purpose and potential. I help you unearth her and reconnect to her and step into her in the Unstuck and Unstoppable program. But she's the one that observes your thoughts and goes, thank you, anxiety, for having me, plan out for the worst case scenario. I appreciate you keeping me safe, but I'm not subscribing to things that haven't happened yet. She might say to your protective part, your perfectionist, thank you, perfectionist, for telling me that I should stay up late and rework and re-edit and redo this email 457 times because I'm afraid that it's going to be perceived in a certain way. But we don't need to worry to that extent. We are embracing imperfections. We are embracing our messy. Okay, progress over perfection. Done is good. I see you, control freak. Hey, queen. I see you, girl. You want to control things so that you can feel better in your body. But as your CEO, I want you to know that it is safe to feel in your body, and we need to feel those feelings, and we have no control over any of it. No control over any of it. So your CEO is the filter of these thoughts, and she decides. She observes them non-judgmentally, then she takes a breath. And then she decides, is that thought true? Is that thought helpful? Am I subscribing to that, or am I exhaling to release? And we manage our monkey minds by doing this process over and over and over again. But I want your default thought to be, I don't believe my thoughts anymore. I'm going to ask my body what she feels. I'm going to drop out of my head and into my body, and I'm going to ask my gut and my intuition and my heart what they want, how they would respond. I mean, let's walk this through an example. Let's play with relationships since I'm on one right now. We really misread our partner's cues, right? If our partner doesn't reach out to us enough throughout the day, if their tone and their text aren't loving, if when they first see us, we don't get the frequency of they're in love with us, if they didn't get us a thoughtful gift, if they didn't consider us and our workload this week, if they didn't whatever, we assume, fill in the blank, your negative thought. They don't love us anymore. They're not trying. They're not growing. They're not putting in enough effort. They must be giving their attention to someone else. They must be looking at someone else. They must be bored in their relationship. They must be stupid. I don't know, whatever the negative thought is. Your natural response to that is to fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Your control freak is going to want to control. Your insecure inner child is going to want to poke at them and ask them questions like, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? But if you were to get out of your thoughts, get out of your head, get out of your parts and drop into your highest self, your CEO and your heart, how would your heart respond? Would your heart say, he must not love me? He's a POS. He's lazy. He's cheating on me. Or would your heart say, who knows what the heck's going on with my husband? He could be having a hard day. Of course he loves me. He's in this relationship with me. I'm not chaining him to the bed. He can leave anytime he wants. He's choosing to be here. He just told me he loved me last night. We just had a great date last weekend. He wrote me a beautiful card for our last anniversary. He shows up for our family. Of course he loves me. Who knows what day he's having? I'm going to send him some love. Do you see how the heart and the intuition and the gut is always going to respond differently? So we want to drop out of our heads, out of our thoughts, and into our hearts and into our bodies. But we need awareness to do this. So become aware of your negative thoughts, disrupt them by pausing, breathing, naming it, calling it out, and then consciously choosing from the body, from the heart, from the intuition, do I want to entertain this thought? Do I believe this thought? Is there anything that needs to be done with this thought? If not, you exhale and you release it. You exhale and you release it. You exhale and you release it. Now, for those thoughts that are negative, that are really just persistent, you get on the hamster wheel with them. They do not want to leave you alone. Those ones are usually pointing you to a subconscious core belief that you need to uproot and upgrade and reprogram. So some of the ways that I love to do that is I write the thought out on a piece of paper. Write out all your stinking thinking. What is the most negative things that you tell yourself? Write it out in your journal or on a piece of paper, crumple it, throw it away, burn it, do what you got to do. If you want to get better sleep at night, write out all the negative thoughts that you're having and crumple it before you go to bed. Say it out loud, but in a silly voice. And then imagine you're putting it in a basket and the basket's floating away. Do a guided meditation to release it. My favorite way to release these negative thought loops, to build new neural connections and new positive thought loops, is brain spotting. You can come in with a persistent negative thought you always have, or a persistent negative belief that you always have, and you can put it through the brain spotting process to truly overwrite the neural pathway and to begin to create new neural connections that build new positive thinking default loops, right? but we got to disrupt them. We got to decide I am no longer subscribing to the negative thoughts my brain likes to tell me. And don't be mad at yourself. Be nice to yourself. Your brain's just doing what brains are designed to do, keep you safe. It's going to let you know, hey, you're not looking as good as the others online. You're not showing up as strong in the leadership meeting. You're not skinny enough. You're not nice enough. You're not patient enough. It's just trying to keep you safe. But the truth is, we can establish safety in our nervous systems here and now through things like presence and grounding and resourcing and breath work and meditation and dancing and crying and connection with others. We don't need to believe the lies that our brain are telling us. The brain is telling you everything is unsafe. That's not true anymore. We can create safety in our body on our own here and now. We can put one hand on our heart and one hand on our belly and take a deep belly breath in through the nose and hold, and an exhale through the nose and hold, to be safe in our bodies here now. And then we have to choose to see the gold. You have to choose your thoughts each day, just like you would choose what outfit you're going to wear. How you start the day sets the tone for the day. So if you start your day and you're stinking thinking, I want you to disrupt it immediately, take a breath, and I want you to begin to notice the good. And I want you to go through the things that you're grateful for. Well, I woke up in a comfy bed. Well, I woke up next to my kids or my husband. Well, I have a house, a roof over my head. Well, I have people in my life that I love. Oh my God, the sun is shining today. I have clients that I get to serve. I have a friend I get to go to lunch with. My kids are healthy. You have to choose your thoughts like you choose your outfit every single day. But here's the beautiful thing. What you focus on grows. So if you're focusing on the enoughness and the beauty and what's going good in your life and what you're grateful for, you will create more of that from an energetic standpoint. But then from a brain science, what you focus on grows too. So you're training your reticular activating system, the RAS in your brain, that we want more of this. Here's what I want you to do to play with this. Going back to the relationship exercise. I want you to focus on the good things your partner is doing. The little things that they do, the way that they show up, the consistency, all of it. I want you to focus on their gold. I want you to see their enoughness several times a day for the next 30 days. And then I want you to see the things that your brain is organically and automatically telling you about your partner. I used to be in this thought spiral of he's not trying hard enough. He doesn't desire me. He is not trying hard enough. He doesn't desire me anymore. He's not trying hard enough. And then I started looking for the enoughness of like, of course he loves me. He's still here. He shows up. He works so hard for our family, blah, blah, blah. Now I have the part of my brain that wants to give me the negative thought. He's not trying hard enough. He doesn't desire you. And another part of my brain, without me even trying, comes to the table and goes, of course he loves you, silly goose. And I get to become the CEO who observes them and lets them duke it out, but then takes a breath and says, I love my husband. So we have to choose our thoughts like we choose our outfit. Choose positive thoughts. Choose to see the enoughness. Choose to see what you're grateful for over and over and over again with repetition and emotional intensity. And you will begin to form new neural connections that become positive default thought loops that get baked into your biology and become neural pathways. And before you know it, you will be weakening the negative neural pathways and you will be building up the positive neural pathways. And those positive thoughts will release feel-good hormones in your body, which will make you feel alive and happy and elated and easeful and joyful and all those things that then help you maintain looking at the positive. And this is not to say that we avoid unpleasant things that are happening in our life or unpleasant feelings. We face the thing, we feel it, and we let it go. We face the thing, we feel it, and we let it go. And then we pivot our attention to the good in our life and the woman we're becoming and how we want to feel. So stop believing your thoughts. Start creating feel-good feelings and experiences that help you feel how you want to feel, which will help you get where you want to go. Engaging in the negative thought loops is keeping you stuck, my loves. You are a prisoner in your own mind. Okay, if you follow me online, you see my photography where I'm in the cage. One of the series of pictures, I have a cage over my head, and that's representing what it feels like to be in an anxious monkey mind, has you spinning and berating yourself and comparing yourself and not enoughness. And then you get stuck, and then you doubt, and then you procrastinate, and then you rework, and then you're exhausted and you're angry and you're irritable, and then you shame yourself. This like spiral in the head. This is why you're stuck. Because all those negative thoughts freeze your nervous system. But I am here to help you to get unstuck, to uncage yourself, to unburden yourself so you can fly, so that you can become her, the highest version of yourself, your CEO. Are you with me, my love? You are bigger than your thoughts. Your thoughts are lies that are fear-based, that are just trying to keep you safe. You, as the CEO, need to discern whether or not you're going to believe your thoughts. And you have to choose more pleasant, more helpful, more affirming thoughts, like you choose your damn outfit every day. And you have to focus on what you want more of. If you want more love, you have to appreciate the love that's already here, and you have to be more loving. If you want more playfulness, you have to appreciate the playfulness that's already here, and you have to show up more playfully. If you want more abundance, you have to see the abundance that you already have, and you have to show up in a vibration of abundance. If you want more joy, you need to be grateful for the joy that you already have, and you have to show up more joyful. And not only will you match with what you desire energetically, you will rewire and reprogram your mind to set you up for success. Here is where energy and spirituality meets science and your neurobiology. This is the stuff that I geek out on. Science and spirituality are saying the same effing things. Okay? What you focus on grows. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Clean up your monkey mind. Now, is this work? This is freaking work. This is the therapy. Challenging your negative thought, taking a breath, choosing a new thought, focusing on the good over and over, processing your emotion. That is the therapeutic technique. That is the therapy. So if it feels like work, my love, it's because it is. But this work is worth doing. This work will change your life. I used to be paralyzed in shame because of my negative thoughts and my judging myself. And how could I do this? And why am I not there yet? And how come I ate and drank and Amazon Primed again? And And it wasn't until I finally started rewiring my thoughts, reprogramming my subconscious beliefs, feeling the impermissible feelings that I was burying behind my perfectionism, and doing the inner work that my external reality finally started to change. Now I like myself. I believe in myself. I'm not afraid of my feelings. I don't believe my thoughts. I believe my soul. I believe myself. I don't believe my thoughts. I know my thoughts are not truthful. I consciously choose what I want to create day after day after day, which is why I have a life I finally freaking love, which is why I wake up and the first thought I have is, I'm so happy and grateful. And then the next thought, I get to decide for what. I'm so happy and grateful for the beautiful weekend I just had with my partner. I'm so happy and grateful for the clean sheets on my bed and that our bed is so juicy. I'm so happy and grateful that my day is not overwhelming. I get to start my day with a juicy morning ritual and then go into an hour breath work and then do my podcast and sell my program. And then I have clients and then I have my mentor meeting. Like, what? And then I get to pick up my daughter and her friend and take them to Ninja. And then while they're at Ninja, I get to go on a walk. And then I get to come home and I get to be with my husband and my daughter and I get to have a bath tonight. Like, I seriously love my life, but I've had to work hard to get here. And baby, I'm here to help you do the same. Final words, please stop believing your thoughts. They are just trying to keep you safe. You, as your CEO self, are so much bigger. You've got to manage them. You've got to disrupt those thought loops. You've got to create new neural pathways. And this work will change your life. When you begin to manage your monkey mind, when you begin to start building new neural connections around positive things that you desire, when you begin to process and release your emotion, you become effing unstoppable. You become free. You become a more authentic expression of who you are. And my love, that is when life starts to get really freaking juicy. Please get in this program with me, Unstuck and Unstoppable, where I can coach you. This is literally 10%, maybe even less, 5% of what I actually teach you how to do inside this program. It will change your life, and I would love to have you and your energy in there. If not, listen to this podcast over and over again. Start playing with your monkey mind and see what result that leads you. And I would love for you to share with me on Instagram, tag me what you're doing to manage your monkey mind so I can support you and cheer you on. I love you so much. Take care of yourselves and there for each other. And I'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye. Hey, mama, if you made it to the end of this episode, I just want to virtually high five you because you've said yes to the opportunity of taking better care of yourself. And that is so meaningful and so amazing. You have no idea the ripple of goodness that's to come. If you've been enjoying the show, if you've been finding it helpful, if you've laughed a little or learned a new technique, will you do me a favor? Will you make sure that you're following the show, that you've given us a 5-star rating and left a review? That will absolutely help us get this podcast into more heads and hearts of as many mamas as possible. Because when we heal the mother, we heal the world. Also, if there's a specific episode that you've loved, will you make sure to share it with a friend? Just send them the link or share it on social media and make sure you tag me at Brooke Jean unPerfected because I absolutely love seeing that this is actually giving you the impact that you so desire and deserve. Thank you so much, mamas. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves and therefore each other.